Hello everyone, my name is Christian, and today we're doing the final Summer of Sci-Fi book review. And this is one that I wanted it to be the second to last, and I definitely will put out a video about what happened with my last Summer of Sci-Fi book, but I ended up DNFing it. And I will go into more details, but the book that I ended up DNFing was Stephen King's Under the Dome. And I'm going to put out a video next week about that. Today is Friday that I'm recording this, and it should be out today. But the book I read, the final Summer of Sci-Fi book, is going to be Gene Wolfe's Nightside the Long Sun. It's a very, I don't want to say clunky, but it's a hard to say title for me. But this is book one of Book of the Long Sun, excuse me. And this is sort of like the sequel series of Book of the New Sun, because there's definitely some crossovers that I found while reading this book. And I loved it. I loved this book. I think it's quite different from Book of the New Sun, which is okay. I'm okay with that. I loved Knight and Wizard by Gene Wolfe. Nowhere near my favorite as, Book of the New Sun is, but this book so far is just amazing. It's pure Gene Wolfe just showing off his prose, and it's not as confusing as Book of the New Sun. That's the nice thing. So this book came out in December 15th, 1993. So it's about a decade after Book of the New Sun, I believe. And we're watching the story through not a torturer this time, but a father of a church named Patera Silk. And Patera is sort of the title of, father in this world. And he has these assistants named Maytera, who are basically the nuns of his church, and they help him do shrives, which are confessions, and also help him with sacrifices. So we do have kind of that darker kind of stuff going on that Book of the New Sun did. And I love Book of the New Sun. I think this character is more interesting. This may be a hot take, but I think he is a more interesting character than Severian. I love Severian. I think he's a very interesting character to read, but Patera Silk's personality is so much more realized and built out. This is not a teenager like Severian was, but this is more a leader in the church. And I loved the storyline. I'm not a religious person, but I do really appreciate religious perspectives, and especially through Gene Wolfe, because he is someone who is very devout Catholic, and I love sort of the ways that he brings in his religion as a way to kind of look at dogmatism and organized religions and seeing how that affects the immediate surroundings, environment, and power structures and all this stuff. I love all that stuff. I think it's a very fascinating subject. But I loved this character. Again, Silk is someone who goes through an enlightenment right in the beginning of the story. I will not go into really any spoilers for this review because I do want to save the surprises for you guys. And there's just so many fun moments in this book, and I love the beginning because our character Silk, the entire series, I think, takes place on this massive starship, unlike Book of the New Sun, where we're on Earth. And this spaceship is, zooming through the solar system. It's picking up, different peoples and aliens, and different civilizations are parking on the ship, and delegates are coming, and all this stuff, and I love it. But the thing that's really interesting is that these people can see the gods. The gods are real in this story. And there's 5 of them. It's Pharaoh. We have Spigots, I think. It's Spigx or something. It's very awesome god names. It's very rooted in sort of ancient religion. And I love that. I love that kind of stuff. I took a lot of classes on ancient civilizations in college, and that was my favorite thing to study, was sort of those type of civilizations. But the gods are real, and they keep coming to the windows, is what they keep saying. They're like, oh, I hope a god, comes and visits me at my window, is what people are saying. And that's basically where they live, on the spaceship. And gods just show up, and they can talk to them. And Silk encounters an enlightenment or experiences enlightenment through a god, and she kind of sets him on this journey. And then she shows up at the end to like talk to him, and it is just mind-blowing, just sort of the things that they discuss and sort of where the story is going, because the story of this novel is very simple. There's a guy named Blood, very simple name. He is the villain, technically, of the story, and he wants to buy the church. He wants to buy the structure and just kind of do what he wants with it, and Silk is not happy with that, obviously. He receives a letter saying, there's an interest to buy this building. You need to meet with the buyer and kind of discuss the conditions. And so he does so, and shenanigans occur, of course, because it's Gene Wolfe, and it can't be a Gene Wolfe novel without it going completely off the path. And that's when Gene Wolfe really shines, I feel like. But I really, really loved sort of the more supernatural kind of Book the New Sun type of stuff. Because ghosts are real in this world, and we have a ghost character by the name of Mukoi. And I loved that character. It might be my favorite character in the book. But I also love the character of Orchid, who is the kind of brothel owner on the spaceship that Silk visits and is talking to one of the clients because someone has been possessed in this brothel, and they hired him to come and do an exorcism. And a lot of stuff happens from that, and I love that section. I love this entire book. And I don't really want to go into deeper spoilers, but I think I do want to make a sort of think out loud my feelings about this story so far versus Book the New Sun. Book the New Sun, I felt like from the first chapter, I was hooked. I loved the fantasy elements. I loved the atmosphere of the graveyard and the cemetery and the mystery of like the graveyard of, digging up Thekla and the bodies and all that. And in this story, it's a lot more, the civilization and sort of society is a lot less apocalyptic, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed seeing like a more space age type civilization from Gene Wolfe, because I've never seen that yet. I've seen that from the Hyrule Jewels, is it the Hyrule Jewels? That's not what they're called. The visitors from the other planets and like Earth and New Sun and all that. I can't remember the names, but like outside of that stuff, like we haven't really had much of that, except for Earth and New Sun, which I think is my favorite Gene Wolfe book. But this was just such a great novel, and I would recommend people do not think about Book of the New Sun too much when reading this. There are some overlaps, like I saw some names that I had seen in Book of New Sun, but I don't know how important it is to know those names and like know exactly like what he's referencing and all that. I don't know. I just caught up on a lot of names that I recognize from Book of New Sun, and I was like, wow, like maybe this is more tied together than I think, but maybe not. A lot of people say it's not, but whatever. Yeah, so that's really all I have to say about this book. I loved it. This was, without a doubt, one of my favorite Gene Wolfes. It's not my favorite. Maybe I'll do a tier list or something, or ranking after I finish Book the Long Sun, but this was just such a great novel to read. It was not slow at any points. I think I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's as great as Book the New Sun, but it's also the first book of Long Sun. So I'm going to continue the solar cycle. I am so excited. I love Gene Wolfe, and thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the day.